So today we are talking height over bore with our optics with carbine. This is a controversial subject. There's people that swear by a really high height over bore, and there's people that think it's ridiculous and there's no need for it. So I'm not here to convince you one way or the other. I'm just here to talk about the positives and negatives that I don't really see people actually delve into of why this is either a really good thing or a really bad thing depending on the shooter. Okay, so on my carbine right now, I have the GBRS Learn Amount on here. This is a really high height over bore, just for demonstration and to talk about the positives and negatives of this. So let's start with the positives. Okay, so the positives obviously is that when we bring the weapon system up to our eyesight, it snaps onto our eyesight without us having to sort of do the tactical turtle, dipping our head down to the optic line. The rifle is going to without me having to duck my head down to the sides. Okay, that's a really nice thing for a few reasons. One of the biggest ones is for CQB situations. Okay, so what it allows us to do is stay upright, and CQB has really gone the way of sort of straight up and down with our bodies, right? We've gone away from sort of this tactical turtle thing to a very upright position in CQB. Okay, a few reasons for that. One, an upright position stops us from sort of doing the lead with our head in that tactical turtle as we're looking around doors and looking into thresholds, whereas being straight up and down, really as we breast things, our rifle is pretty much catching that threshold as soon as the rest of our body line is. Okay, that's a really good thing for urban combat types of situations. Okay, so one of the other things I really like about higher height over the bore is situational awareness. Okay, so when I have my rifle up like this, I am actually looking out at my normal eyesight plane, so I can still see everything going on around me, rather than on a normal height over bore, I have to sort of look down into my optics, and I'm sort of losing situational awareness of everything around me. So that's kind of a positive and a negative when it comes to height over bore. I'll get into that on the negatives as well. So again, big positive, good situational awareness. Don't have to be buried down into my sight. Okay, so those are the two biggest positives, and they are really nice. So economy of motion when getting that weapon up to my sight line and engaging targets, it's definitely faster. Better situational awareness. Okay, so negatives, and there definitely are some serious dangerous negatives to running a higher height over bore like this. Okay, especially for an inexperienced shooter. So if I do my typical zero at 25, 300 meter zero, whatnot, and I'm engaging targets 5 feet away from me, 10 feet in front of me in a CQB situation, I have to then be doing the mathematical equation in my head before I take the shots of how high over bore I am. Means that my round is going to be impacting probably 4-5 inches below my actual optic point, right? So if I'm aiming at my target from 5 feet, I'm having to aim about 4 inches high. Okay, why is that bad? It's bad because we don't want to be doing mathematical equations in a super high stress self-defense situation, right? If I'm being attacked, if I'm in an actual gunfight, the odds of me subconsciously doing this mathematical equation and actually aiming to where I need to aim, extremely low, unless I'm someone that has shot hundreds of thousands of rounds through a higher height over bore like this and been in real world gunfights where I actually am used to that stress inoculation. Most people aren't. Okay, so it's dangerous right out the gate. Number two, well, let's get back to better situational awareness, having our eyes through the optic pretty much at all times. Okay, so it's a positive in a situational awareness standpoint, but it's a negative for a new shooter in that if I'm constantly in my eyesight, in my optic, right, what am I likely to do? I'm likely to immediately take a shot once a silhouette comes into the point of my optic. Why? Because when I'm out on the range, all I do all day long is put my optic to a target, to a silhouette, and pull a trigger. Okay, so what that lower height over bore allows us to do is have to make the conscious effort of identifying the target, lifting our weapon up, getting our head sight down, and taking the shot. Whereas if I'm already up in my optic and somebody pops out around a corner, I'm likely to let a round off. Well, maybe I just shot somebody I didn't intend to shoot because I got startled and I was already in my optic. Okay, so overall, again, a lot of positives, a lot of negatives. What I'll say, for my own personal opinion, higher height over bore is a really good thing, and it allows you to open up a lot of avenues for very high-skilled shooters, okay? That have, you know, the subconscious to make those, you know, mathematical equation shots while they're shooting, moving around, doing SUQB, all those things. It's doable, but it comes with a lot of experience. And then for inexperienced shooters, I wouldn't suggest really going with a higher height over bore. I don't think that it's giving you enough value to offset the potential serious dangers, right? If you were using this on a self-defense carbine in your home, you're a new shooter, you got to make a 4 or 5 inch adjustment. You're not going to do that when there's a home invader and someone's trying to attack you. You're going to put your optic right where you meant to shoot. Potentially you just shot 5 inches off, and now that's a terrible situation if you miss, right? So just my opinions on the situation, and that's all I got. So have a good day, everybody.